Randolph. Welcome to another edition of Wandering Randolph. My name is Ken Simmons, and for RCTV channels 8, 10, and 22, tune them in. You're going to like what you see. You're going to see what you like. We're standing in front of fire station number 2. Ever since I've been a kid, I wanted to come into this station, and today we got the opportunity to show you a brand new piece of apparatus designed by some of the firefighters that work for the town of Randolph. So, without further ado, let's go in and take a look at this incredible piece of apparatus. Follow me. This is my first visit here. Don't get hurt now, you're coming on off that ladder. Can you make it okay?
I can make it.
All right, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine. Your name is?
My name's Paul Frew.
Paul Frew, you're a firefighter, Paul Frew?
Yes.
And how long have you been a firefighter?
Since November 1998. I got on full-time November of 98.
Wow.
And prior to that, I was a call man on the Randolph Fire Department from January 94 up until the time I was put on full-time.
You don't look that old. You don't look, that means you've been here 8 years, right?
Yes.
As a full-time firefighter.
Correct.
Wow. Well, we come down to see this piece of equipment you've got here.
Yes.
Now, first thing I've noticed, when I came in the back door, this looks like an ambulance, is it?
Nope, it's not an ambulance. This is.
Tell me then, or tell the people at home, what is this? What are we looking at here?
This is engine 4.
Okay.
It's a 2005 brand new engine that was designed for Station 2. It looks so high on the back because it's a new body that they manufacture with through Emergency 1. It's referred to as their emergency rescue vehicle.
Okay.
Which allows us more storage, allows us to keep more equipment on the truck for when we respond to the highway, different types of incidents.
So this is actually a rescue vehicle?
Correct.
Like an ambulance?
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's the rest of it do? Now from here on up, what does this do? This carries the guys. Exactly. I see a lot of hoses there. You don't use that for patients.
Not for patients.
So what is this all about? You got to remember, I'm stupid. I don't know what's happening here.
No question. Don't worry about the question.
Okay.
These are the different types of hand lines that we use for structural firefighting off of vehicle firefighting.
Now, when you say hand lines, again, excuse me, what do you mean by that? Tell me what you mean by a hand line.
There's two types.
Is there a foot line?
There's no such thing as a foot line, but we also refer to master streams in the fire service. Master stream would be, we'll get into that a little later on, the deck gun that's on the top of the engine will show you. You've seen the ladder truck around town. I'm sure that's referred to as a master stream. There's an aerial waterway that we can use as a master stream. Master stream is used when we need to flow large amounts of water.
Really?
Example, a building that is unsafe to perform firefighting operations on the interior would remove the crews to the exterior and perform what's called a defensive attack, where they attack the fire from outside the building using large volumes of water.
Would they normally attack it from inside?
Normally, our first course of action is always life safety, being our own safety as well as people that could be trapped in the building. In performing our duty, we take life safety first. If there's people in the building, we'll perform an offensive attack where we'll go in and try to rescue the victim and extinguish the fire from the interior of the building. But if conditions deteriorate, that's when the shift commander will have us retreat to the outside and go to a defensive mode.
I got you. I understand what you're saying. Now these are all different size hoses, right?
They're all different sizes.
Tell me, this is what?
This is 1 3/4
inch. 1 3/4.
Which is capable of giving us a carrying capacity of about 185 gallons per minute.
Wow. And this is how much?
This is 1 3/4 also.
Go ahead.
And in both of these 1 3/4, one is designed to go off the left side, the other's packed to go off the right side.
Is that the reason for the different colors?
Exactly.
Okay, and this is?
This is 2.5 inch hose, which has a capacity of 250 gallons per minute.
Wow. Holy mackerel.
So in other words, if we needed a large volume of water right away, we'd pull a 2.5 inch hand line.
Okay, now this isn't a tanker.
No.
Okay.
No.
Now, what do we got here? What's going on here? Is this where the guys stand?
This is the access. There's 3 people that ride on engine 4. The driver operator.
Can I get up there?
Yes, you can.
Maybe I can. I don't think we could explain all this, but could you tell us somewhat, what's that? What's this, for example? This is lock.
What these handles are, these control the different procedures that we do from the pump panel. These control the different valves in this vehicle. that operate different things.
Wow.
This one that you had asked about, Ken, is particular. It's labeled white and red. This truck has a foam cell. It has a 750-gallon tank on engine 4, which 40 gallons of that is a Class A foam, which can be used for motor vehicle fires.
I'll go stop you right there,
Sure.
Paul. There's a tank here someplace?
There is.
Can we see that at a later time?
I can open up the side.
Okay.
It's tough to see because the tank is actually behind the cabinets and under the hose bay.
Okay, but it has 450 gallons of foam.
Nope, 40 gallons of foam.
40 gallons of foam.
710 gallons of water.
Okay, and what's the foam do? What do you? Is that for an airplane fire, or automobile fire?
Exactly. You've seen them use them on airplane fires on TV. What foam does is it smothers the fire. Water takes away the heat and extinguishes the fire by cooling.
Okay.
Foam smothers the fire. It's mixed with water. We have the capability of mixing foam from a half. This is the foam mixing valve.
Right here.
We can mix foam from 1/4% all the way up to 6%. So in other words, 94% would be water, 6% would be foam. Exactly.
And would that be effective? I guess it would be,
yes,
right?
it would be.
Now, all the guys, so how many guys will be operating this? Just one?
There's 3 people on engine 4 on the pumper at a time.
Right.
One person is responsible for the operation. His job is the driver operator. He's responsible to get us to the call safely, and then depending on what type of incident it is, whether it be medical, fire, motor vehicle accident, his job description changes depending upon the incident.
Ah.
If it was a house fire or a motor vehicle accident or a motor vehicle fire, this is his room right up here.
I see. Okay. Now you guys are interchangeable, aren't you? You're a firefighter.
Yes.
But you're also an E.M.T.?
Correct.
Are all firefighters in the Randolph Fire Department E.M.T.s as well?
Yes, they are. All of the members are E.M.T.s.
At least.
At least E.M.T.s. Myself, I'm a firefighter E.M.T. paramedic.
I see this thing here as I'm getting off the truck. What is this thing for?
That's the Plymouth exhaust system. What this does, Ken, is it attaches to the exhaust pipe on the truck.
Yeah.
And as soon as the truck starts up, there's a sensor that senses the exhaust particulate matter.
Yeah.
And this extracts that to the rear of the station.
Yeah, but suppose you got to go to a fire all of a sudden. You got to come out and unscrew this thing?
Nope, not at all. It's a pretty impressive. What they did is, if you look up above, you'll see the track.
Look where? Oh yeah.
See right up here, this yellow track. Follow the hose right up, and you see the reel.
Yeah.
This hose follows along this track, and what happens at the end of the track, I can show you real quick. There's a pneumatic switch. That when this hits the pneumatic switch, which is right up here, there's a little roller.
Yeah.
And you see the air lines that are attached to that roller.
Yeah.
When the truck proceeds forward out of the bay,
Yeah.
it hits the pneumatic switch, and there's a bladder that attaches that onto the exhaust pipe. Once the pneumatic switch is released, it blows off and the truck can continue out the door, and the hose retracts on the track.
Oh, wow, I'm impressed.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. Wow. Hey, I got to ask you a personal question.
Sure.
How much did you pay for this?
Well, the taxpayers of Randolph, the town meeting appropriated $438,000 for this truck.
$438?
Yes.
Wow. So what do you do now? You go around and kick tires? Do you find the one you like?
It was pretty involved. The chief put together a memo up at headquarters and asked for members to be on a committee to spec out the new truck. There were probably 15 to 20 of members that came to the meeting. Different vendors came in, showed us the different products that they had to offer. We went to a few trade shows in the general area. Emergency One is actually located in Attleboro. They have a cookout where they have some of the recent purchases that towns have made. We were able to go around and see what towns had, and from doing that, we were able to develop our own specifications for what we wanted in the town of Randolph.
So this is made to your specs?
Exactly.
Wow, that's great. I saw this when I came in a little earlier. What's this thing here? What is this? Tell me what about that.
That's the signature sound of a fire apparatus. This is the federal siren. They call it the federal queue, and that's the wail that you hear when the trucks go up and down the street.
The federal queue?
Yes.
I never heard that before. Is that what this F stands
That's
for?
Federal Signal Corporation is who manufactures the siren.
I see.
This is called a mechanical siren, and they also have electronic sirens.
What do you
on
mean
this truck.
mechanical? Somebody's got to wind it up?
It came from the old wind-up sirens that you saw in the old days, but this one actually winds by a motor, and as the fins inside pass, this spins around and around, and as those fins spin.
Can you turn it on?
Absolutely.
Can you?
Give me 1 second.
Oh God, I can't believe you're gonna do it. You folks sitting at home, if you're as young as I am, you're gonna get a kick out. I'm not gonna stand in front of it. Probably blow me away. Yeah. How about that, Randolphians? Isn't that great? Thank you, Paul. That was great.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Ever since I've been a kid, I think every kid wants to be a fireman. And that hasn't changed with me. I still want to be a fireman. That made me feel like a kid again.
One of my favorite sounds.
I'm going to ask you another favor.
What's that, Ken?
Can we take the truck out?
Absolutely.
We can?
Absolutely.
Not me. I don't mean me.
What I'll do is there's 2 other guys at this station with me. One is the officer, one's the driver operator.
Okay.
The officer is Lieutenant Mike Rennie. How you doing?
Lieutenant Mike Rennie, how are you?
And this is Firefighter Ron Casey.
Hi, Firefighter Ron Casey. How are you?
Good.
And how long have you been firefighter? How long have you been?
10 years.
10 years. Here? Always here?
No, mostly uptown. I got promoted a little over a year ago.
Great. How do
My permanent station.
how do you like it here?
I love it.
And how long have you been a firefighter?
28 years.
28 years?
Yeah, I'm an old timer here.
In Randolph?
Yeah,
God, you don't look 28 years old.
that's good.
Okay, firefighter Frew said that you're going to take the truck out for us.
Yeah,
eh?
we can do whatever you guys like.
Will you do it now?
Sure.
Right now?
Yep.
Can I watch?
You can jump in.
Jump in? Can I jump in?
Oh, I'll show you. This is my seat. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Oh man, you just fulfilled a lifelong dream that I've had. As a kid, I always wanted to ride one of these.
Did you really?
And this is the first time. Fantastic. Just fantastic. Thank you
Glad
so
you
much.
enjoyed it. Anytime.
Oh, yeah,
Thank him. That's the driver.
Yes, yeah, you did a great job. Thank you. Listen, I wasn't going to a fire. I wasn't going to work like you guys do, but do you still get a kick out of it?
We do.
You do.
We do.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
And if you don't want to answer it, don't answer it.
I'll answer it for you.
All right. Is it really necessary to have a second fire department here?
With the size of the community, yes, absolutely it is, because of the response time. In particular, where we really notice it now is with the construction on Route 28. If the apparatus ever had to come from Central Station, which is next to the library, to North Randolph, with the traffic due to that construction, you'd be looking at response times of 5 minutes, if not greater. Having a station in this end of town, we can cut the response times in half, which allows us to get 3 people to an incident fairly quickly, whether it be a medical, a fire incident, an accident on the highway. Keep in mind, Randolph also responds to some of the major highways in Massachusetts. Route 93, we also respond to Route 24 South. Those are all things to keep in mind when you think about the station in North Randolph that would be affected if it ever were to close.
That's a great answer. What's in here?
This is the jump seat, the back of the engine. If you want, you can hop right up or just look from here.
Oh, let me get up there.
Okay.
Let me get up there. I've got to grab all of this thing here. I'm getting used to this now. Look at that. Okay, this is a jump seat over here, right?
Yes, it is.
And right here.
There's 2 jump seats.
Okay.
If you want to sit over on that side, Ken,
Okay.
I can. Don't mind my gets a little tight.
You don't mind if I step on your stuff?
Not at all, with the turnout gear.
Now, what are we doing here? Is this a jump seat also?
That's also a jump seat. That's a flip-down jump seat that you can see. There's one on either side of the vehicle.
So 4 guys could ride here?
Essentially, we could have 4.
Yeah.
Currently, with the manning level, Station 2 has 3 members. Those 3 members are a driver-operator. His responsibility is to drive the vehicle. The officer, who sits in the front, he's a Lieutenant Rennie that you met. He's in charge of the incident. And also the person where you're sitting, a stepper.
I got to do this. Is this front? This is the front of it? Oh,
That's the front.
is if I do this, how much does this thing weigh?
About 3 pounds, 3 to 5 pounds.
Holy mackerel, my neck is going right down into my shoulders.
They are heavy.
Yeah.
That's one of the older helmets. That's a leather helmet. The new ones are a plastic material that lighten them up quite a bit.
Wow.
And they still look like the traditional helmet.
This is heavy and hot.
It's very hot.
Okay, now you were saying that the essentially this could carry 5 guys.
Exactly.
5 firefighters.
The driver, an officer, and 2 more firefighters. 4 people.
Wow. That's pretty good.
It is.
Yeah. And what else is here now? We got emergency lights, I guess.
Flashlights. The masks are in the seat. These are the SCBA masks that we wear when we go into a burning building or a car fire, anywhere there could be a hazardous atmosphere.
SVA, Paul.
SCBA, which stands for self-contained breathing apparatus.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And those are in the seat. The reason they're in the seat is so we can get dressed and don this mask on the way to an incident.
Isn't that a handy thing, huh?
It is very handy.
Wow.
And then when we get out of the vehicle, we get out prepared with the mask.
Now, are
on.
these tanks loaded? They're all set to go?
They're all set to go.
How much air time have you got there?
They call these 30-minute bottles.
Yeah.
While we're working, they probably last about 15 minutes.
Yeah, so you got to know that.
Exactly.
Well, when you get that thing on, you got a mask over your face. Can you communicate with your officers?
You can. The newer masks that we have, we're fortunate to have nowadays, they have what they call emitters that are on the side. And I'll show you on my mask. It's obviously it's not hooked up to the air tank.
Right.
But this device right here is called the voice emitter. And what that does, I'll put the mask on and you can hear what it would sound like.
What do you mean voice emitter? Is that going to go into a microphone someplace?
It doesn't go into a microphone, but what it does is it amplifies my voice from inside the mask through this amplifier so it's louder on the outside.
Do it. I can't wait. Do it. Are you doing it?
Not yet.
Oh, there you go.
This is what I'd sound like if I didn't have if the amplifier was on. But with the amplifier on, you can hear me talk a lot clearer.
Hey, I like that. I like that. Yeah.
Those are some of the things that we have now to make our job a little easier. I mentioned to you earlier that this truck is registered as a Class 5 ambulance. This cabinet.
Wait a minute now. Class 5, is that top notch or?
Class 5 means it has all the capabilities of a regular transporting ambulance. However, we can't transport with this particular piece of apparatus.
Okay.
You haven't seen a stretcher in here at all yet.
No, right.
That's what I refer to. But in this cabinet, some of the necessities and some of the accessories that we have on the truck itself, these DeWalt chargers that you see here, those are for the different types of tools that we'll get into when we start to go around the truck.
Okay.
These are onboard chargers. They maintain a charge in the battery, and when the battery drops below a level, we can charge the battery off of the battery on the vehicle itself.
Okay.
In other words, we don't have the capability of plugging in a charger like you would if you had a cordless drill at home, plug it in and charge the battery.
Right.
We bought battery chargers that are capable of running off the battery system.
Okay.
This is a thermal imaging camera. This also has an onboard charger that allows us to charge the camera when it's in the truck.
Now this thermal imaging camera I've seen before.
Okay.
And for the people sitting at home, could you just briefly describe what this amazing camera does?
Absolutely. The thermal imager allows us to go into a building fire or any type of atmosphere, and by looking at different, it detects the heat level that someone would put off. In other words, if I was to go into a burning building searching, this will allow us to search faster for victims. a person's body heat would show them on the screen, and they would actually look white.
Forgive me for asking this question, but it's important. Suppose somebody's in the building, but they're dead. They wouldn't give off any heat, right?
They still would give off more heat than the surrounding area.
Okay, great.
That's what.
Even though you're in the middle of a fire, the body heat is more intense than the fire?
No, not. The body heat is actually colder than the fire, but what we see is the heat. Now, if I point this at you, Ken.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Stu can pick it up, but you can see the outline of Ken's face. Why don't you give us a wave for the camera? Okay. And what the thermal imager does is it picks up the different levels of heat. That's why Ken stands out versus.
Yeah, but I stand out anyway. That's very good explanation. You do a good job on this, you know that?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
This
great.
is my first time.
That's great. That's the first time I've seen that. That's great. Yeah. For you people sitting at home, we're just having just a little bit of trouble getting this adjusted so you can see it while you're sitting there in front of your television set having a beer or a cup of coffee or whatever pleases you. And this, Paul has just given us a great explanation. I'll do another little wave here, see if we can pick it up. Whatever you see there, that's me. I'm still alive and kicking. All right. Fantastic.
Pretty neat, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's better than pretty neat. That's fantastic. Now, what's this red thing over here, Paul?
This red thing is called a portable suction unit. We have those on the ambulance. That would allow us. That will come out of this truck, and somebody that may have respiratory compromise due to secretions in their throat would be able to suction that out, whether it be blood or vomitus, any type of thing like that.
All right.
Would be able to suction. There's a few radios in there that you also see.
Are those radios?
That's what those are, and they're also in onboard chargers.
They're handheld radios.
Handheld,
right? Yeah.
portable radios.
Yeah.
The yellow radio,
Waterproof.
they're intrinsically safe, which means they can't trigger any type of bomb or anything like that.
Okay,
they don't emit a spark. When I key the mic, this won't give off some type of spark that could emit.
Okay. Now, how far? What's the range on this?
This is no, I'm not positive the exact range, but at Milton Hospital, depending on if there's repeaters in the area, we can talk to fire alarm from the Milton Hospital.
No kidding.
That's something that the town, the EMS coordinator, and the chief worked with Milton for a long time.
Wow.
They put a repeater in Milton Hospital, which allows the signal to activate the repeater, and in turn come here to Randolph.
That's fantastic. Fantastic.
Excuse me. But as I mentioned earlier, this carries all the same equipment as the ambulance does.
Like this is the defib?
This is the defib down here, Ken. This is the drug box that we carry all the medications in. Okay. And this is our first in bag.
Can we take them out? Can we take them out?
Sure.
Here with us.
Actually, if you could turn you out.
There. Everything
is the monitor. This is the defibrillator, which we can also look at people's heart rhythm.
Okay. I don't know if I can help you get that back in there. Yeah, I did. And this is the drug box.
I mentioned the drug box.
Right. And now these are controlled substances, I guess. Controlled
substances, as well as regular cardiac medications, respiratory medications. This is what we carry all our medications in. They have to be in a locked box because of the state requires the locked box.
Yeah.
But also, this has to be a double lock box. This tan box that you see
right here
is what carries our controlled substances.
Oh, okay. And that would be what, heroin or
not heroin. That would be morphine, Versed, or Valium.
Okay. Wow, that was fantastic. I hope the people got something out of that. I sure did. Okay, we've got another door here.
Alrighty. There's a couple. This one.
Oh yeah.
This one here that we missed.
Yeah.
Right underneath where the pump operator goes. we keep our short suction hoses.
Okay.
Okay, those are the hook up to the
These are the intake
hydrant.
valves here. That's where you get your water from a hydrant.
These are intake valves. This
These
comes
are
from a
intake
hydrant.
valves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm talking now to Lieutenant
Rennie.
Rennie.
What
Okay.
you do is you have a 4-inch intake that you tie into a hydrant.
Yeah.
You'll run the line up to here. The water's under pressure from the hydrant.
Right.
So it'll come right to here. You can take this off. Probably get a little water out. What you do is once the water comes in, you open up the valve, and that's how you get water into your truck.
You get enough pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually. You try to get a main street hydrant or a circular hydrant. You don't want to get a dead end hydrant because
Right.
it less chances of less pressure.
Right. Right. How long did it take you to hook up?
Just a couple minutes.
Just a couple.
We're pretty proficient at doing that here.
Yeah.
We-
Oh yeah.
we-
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
drill
yeah.
on it occasionally.
Okay. What's in the store?
This is Stuart's compartments. This has a lot of electrical stuff and tools. We have some water here. You know, when it gets hot, whatever, to rehydrate after working at a fire.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cord reels here. These are extra cord reels. Those are from our old engine. What we use these for, and this is actually fairly new. This is a large cord reel. This is a 100-foot cord on it, 200-foot cord.
Wait a minute now. What is that thing?
This
Number
has
one.
sockets in it.
Okay.
You can
And
tie in. What we use
This,
it for is
wait a minute. This pulls out
100-foot cord reel.
This is 100 feet.
Yeah. In the old days, you'd have to run a cord to another cord to another cord to get lighting in a house. Once you have a fire in a house, you lose power. So if it's nighttime, you don't have any lights working. So you have to illuminate the rooms to
Yeah.
check for extension
Sure.
or whatever after you're done. These lights are pretty old. They're probably older than I am. They came off the old ladder truck, but
Yeah,
they
they
work
look-
very well. We replaced the bulbs. They've been reconditioned. And what
Now-
you do is you take this cord, unwrap these, and you can plug them right into the back here.
Dude, show me that again. Show me the back of that again. Okay, the cord goes in there. What cord goes in there?
This one
Not
here.
that one.
This end.
That end.
Take these.
Okay, so this is what they call a male end, right?
Yep.
And now you're going to come down with a female.
Yep.
Okay, and plug it right in there. Can you do it just for the camera? The camera gets voracious for this kind of thing.
It's all too big.
No. We need to grab an adapter for you first.
Well, these guys are going to a lot of trouble
These
first.
go right in the back here, like that.
Okay.
So you bring this to the front door, and you got 2 cords so you can light it up in different areas.
Okay.
You know, the other apparatus have similar things, so all together you'll have plenty of lighting.
And this thing here now will light now?
We have to have the engine running.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay.
And they
All
control.
right.
This has the circuit breaker in it. We also have chains in here. This is kind of a miscellaneous cabinet. These are heavy duty chains.
That thing looks heavy. Is it heavy?
Yeah, it weighs about 50, 60 pounds.
Holy suffering. Wow.
That's big steel chains. What we would use this for, probably the thing we'd use it for the most is if you had a dumpster on fire next to a building.
Yeah.
You can hook those chains up, tie it to the engine, and pull that dumpster right away.
Oh,
That way
right.
The building doesn't get going.
I wonder if I could borrow that. I got this little poodle that keeps running away.
If you want to try to lift it,
Yeah, put it down. Let me.
heavier than a doctor's bag.
Yeah, that's heavy. Yeah, take my word for you folks sitting at home.
Yeah.
That sucker is heavy. I mean, I want to tell you, that is heavy. Wow. He pulled it out of there like it was nothing. How much did that weigh? I bet it weighs 100 pounds or more.
I would say.
Yeah.
Instead of using flares, in the old days, everyone used to use flares.
Yes.
We have these now. You can use these instead. You set them up.
Oh,
So
that's
if we're
nice.
working on the highway, if we're going to be tied up for a while, or on the side of the road,
And that reflects.
those reflect and they illuminate pretty well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Boy, oh boy, you guys are really self-contained with this stuff, I'll tell you.
A lot of jobs with not too many guys, so you gotta have a lot of equipment. This is just a regular standard toolbox, miscellaneous tools that we use.
Oh, yeah.
You know, things you always need.
Yeah.
You need a hacksaw. A lot of people carry personal tools like wrenches, screwdrivers.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we presented with many different types of problems. You know, people call us when they have a problem, and we try to solve their problems.
Yes.
It's not all fires, medicals, and stuff like that.
I know it, I know it.
Sometimes a leaky water pipe that we can just get up and shut it off for them, or a gas.
Do you do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we try to help you out as much as we can.
Gee, that's fantastic. The jaws of life isn't in there, is it?
No, it's in the rear. This is something fairly new, with all the carbon monoxide detector and going on.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to have a little handheld model. This model here is pretty advanced though. the same type of model that the gas company uses. It actually will track the percentage at lower explosive level for natural gas, or if you have gas in your house and you have a leak, we can measure the percentages.
Wow.
To realize how dangerous it is, because you want to keep it under a certain level. It's explosive, lower explosive limit means if it's up to that degree, that it's explosive. Carbon monoxide, oxygen level, and absolute zero. You can use this after fires when you have residual smoke in the house to make sure it's safe for us to take our masks off.
Okay.
So it's a safety tool also for us, but we use it mostly when someone calls and says they have a carbon monoxide detector going off. We can go test for levels of what the levels actually are to tell whether they need to, evacuate the house or anything like that.
Holy mackerel, this is fantastic.
That's pretty much in this cabinet. We just have an extra light. You always need lights. That's a big thing with the fire service. You always need lights. You always seem to be in people's basements and attics and everywhere else where there's not well lighting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you just want to move right along.
Wow, holy mackerel. You guys are going to be all weekend putting this stuff away again.
This cabinet just has our extra Scott tanks. You guys looked at the harnesses earlier.
Yeah.
It's a half-hour bottle. Usually at a fire, there's extra ones in here also. All these compartments here. We go through a lot of these at a fire. You're in and out, and the driver usually helps you. He'll change the bottle right on your back so you can go right back in again.
Now, how are these filled, Lieutenant?
These here are filled with a cascade system in Station 2. It's about 20 years old, the system that we have.
You got a
But it
system
still
right here to
works.
fill these, huh?
Yeah.
How long does it take to fill a bottle?
Each bottle, a few minutes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And each one is a 30-minute bottle.
Yeah.
And what is this thing here?
This is a water extinguisher. It's for Class A fires, paper products, stuff like that. If we have like a fire in a rubbish barrel.
Right. This?
This here is a dry chemical. It's for A, B, and C. So you can use it on A is for solids, wood, paper, clothing, trash. B is for flammable liquids. C is for electrical. And this is a carbon dioxide extinguisher. It's non-flammable.
This is what?
Carbon dioxide.
Extinguisher.
Yeah. This makes a god-awful sound when you sound it. The most important thing with this that people need to be aware of is carbon monoxide. It's not hazardous to you, but it's an asphyxiant. It'll displace oxygen. So, you breathe oxygen at a certain level. This will displace it if you're in a confined area.
Really?
We usually wear our masks if we're using it.
I never even heard of that
It
one.
makes a nice sound. You won't.
Wow.
You see, it leaves no residue. It's a clean extinguisher.
But if you aimed at it,
You can
somebody
use-
could hurt them.
Nah, it's just a little cold. You can use it on electrical fires. Pretty much, oven fires is what we bring in. Need that at a dry chem.
That's fantastic.
This cabinet here, some more multi-purpose stuff. These are some more hand tools. These are usually, they call them the officer's tools because they're on the officer's side. If we get out at a fire, everybody goes to work. So I'd probably grab this called an officer's hook. It's not that heavy, but it has a Boston end on it. That's called a Boston hook. The Boston Fire Department designed that, as opposed to a plastic hook. Looks a little different.
What would you do with that?
I find it very effective. It's for pulling ceilings and walls. That's why it actually has a handle so you can reach above your head. So you can get pretty high up.
Yeah.
And you can pull stuff down so that if Paul was on the line, he can get water up in there to get into the little areas.
Wow. Jeepers creepers. And what's this hook here?
It's called a Halligan bar. It's a multi-purpose tool. You can use it for a lot of things, and you can use it in conjunction with a flathead axe too. It has a piercing tool, so if you need to get into something.
Wow, I guess
it's heavy.
it
It
does.
weighs about 20 pounds, 25 pounds.
Man? Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy.
It has a prying bar. Pry doors open with this end.
Wow.
This end, and then you can also use it. Take a door right open, and then if you want to open something up, you can use it like that and take a flathead axe or a sledgehammer right into it. It'll blast the door right open usually.
Holy mackerel.
It's for gain and entry. We mostly use them in commercial property.
That's pretty serious stuff.
And this is
Now
the
this
old,
one here I've seen before.
This is the old standby. This
Yeah.
is the pick-headed axe. This
Yeah.
is, firefighters
How much
have
is
been
that?
using these for 100 years.
Wow, that's heavy too.
Yeah.
That's got to weigh 30, 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Boy, you swing that and you've got... That's
Primarily for a smashing motion, but the head's heavy, so you can blow into doors. You can use the axe to get into areas that you want to get into, to pierce into. You can use this as a smashing motion to open up a roof or a wall. But it's a very good tool. It's primarily we use it in house fires or gaining entry into a house.
Now, if you have to go up on a roof, how do you carry that? You just carry it in your hand?
You carry it on your hand, you carry it on the side beam. Drag it up the beam, the ladder. Put your hand on the outside. We have all sorts of different tools here.
Yes, you do.
This is actually invented by one of our firefighters.
Here in Randolph?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see that.
Former Coast Guard. One of those Coast Guard guys. It's called the Save a Life Disc, personal retriever. It actually acts like a frisbee. You drop the line, stand on it. You can pull the person in. That's a flotation device. Someone could hang on to that.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay.
He actually used it up in Lawrence a couple of years ago and pulled a police officer in.
No kidding.
But you can throw that up to 150 feet.
Isn't that interesting? They got a little doggy on there who's a lifesaver dog, I guess. And you just you could throw this 150 feet, you say?
Yeah.
Wow.
Up to 150 feet.
Wow.
Something we practice in the wintertime. We have.
Can we have the name of the inventor?
Upside down. That's what it was. Joe Dupree, firefighter.
Jill Dupree. I know that name.
Former Coast Guard.
I know that name.
He's Master Chief Sergeant in the Coast Guard.
Don't hit my cameraman, Paul. He's very valuable. Well, not that valuable. All right.
When you pull it in, someone can just hang on to it. That's for someone who's, struggling in the water.
Yeah.
You throw it over their head, and then you pull it in, and they can grab onto it.
Fantastic.
We have various ropes we use here. We use them for all different things. It's like anything. We have ropes. This is a water rescue suit here. Lay that on the floor here. Being down this end of town, we cover the reservoir. Another
yeah.
reason why Station 2 is important.
So this is a wetsuit.
This is a wetsuit. You can wear this in the winter in the icy water. It hooks up here. You hook a line into there. You swim out on your back. If you can get the victim, grab a hold of them, they pull the line, they'll pull you right in.
So you mean you can get in icy water with this thing and you won't get hypothermia?
No, you're fully protected. Just your face is the only part that's really exposed, and it's only exposed where your eye level is.
And that looks like you could get into that pretty quick too.
Yeah, in a matter of minutes.
Yeah. Geez, I don't think the people are aware of how much you guys do besides fight fires.
We do a lot of things.
Yeah, you really
Solve
do.
people's problems, that's what our job is.
You really do.
What it is. Other things we have here, let Paul explain this a little more. This is really new for us. This is cribbing. Like Paul said earlier, we are a highway. This truck's designed to be on the highway and do a lot of work. We don't have the benefit of having a heavy rescue in Randolph. This used to be done with the carpenters here. Used to make up things. When a car's unstable, to stabilize it, you can tuck pieces of wood in, so it won't rock and roll.
Right.
Rock.
Yeah.
Well, this is a kit that came with this engine to help stabilize it.
Now, is this engine always here at Station 2?
Yes. You can tuck this under a car.
I see,
So
yeah.
whether it's here, there,
Yeah.
I'll be showing you the hydraulic tools we have to gain entry into crashed up cars.
Yeah.
What happens is you might have to lift them off the ground. We had a car rolled over on its roof, so you lifted it up off the ground. You can tuck these underneath it, stabilize, and get the people out.
Fantastic.
Otherwise
Fantastic.
you'll be halfway in, halfway out. And
Yeah.
you'll have a hard time.
Fantastic. Jeepers
If you want, I
creepers.
can show you those tools.
Yeah. Are we through with this?
Yeah, pretty much. This is a hydrant. Yeah. Just has tools for a hydrant to tie into the hydrant.
Right.
Gate valves. You always put a gate valve on the end of the hydrant, so you have a second means of getting water if you have a problem.
Gotcha.
This is called the HAV valve, hydrant assist valve. These are standard pretty much on every truck in Massachusetts. You tie this into the hydrant right here.
Yeah.
Our supply line goes from the hydrant to here to here. This is if you had to assist, if you had a truck up near Friendly's and you needed to get them water under higher pressure. You talked about pressure.
Yeah.
We can create that pressure with this truck. This truck, we can pump it up and increase the pressure right up to the other end.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Gee, that's incredible. How
Yeah,
heavy
it's
is
a nice
that?
tool.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, everything we have is heavy.
Wow.
But all this stuff's standard. We have extra hydrant wrenches and spanner wrenches to get
Yeah.
all the gates off.
Yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Let's smoke that.
I appreciate
Every
you.
compartment has a purpose. Everything we do here has a purpose.
I appreciate you dragging all this stuff out like this.
This compartment here is the hydraulic tools I told you about.
Oh yeah.
These are the main ones we use right here. This is actually a generator. You start the engine up, then you flick this switch, you turn this on. It's like a compressor. This is all hydraulic fluid in here, and that's where it gets its power. And these tools, on this engine, are a little bit lighter than previous tools. They, a new generation.
Yeah, yeah.
They're very light. We can do a lot with them. They're still pretty heavy, but not as heavy as the other ones were.
Is this the jaws of life?
Nope, this is right here. It's still pretty heavy. The other ones were probably 3 times as heavy as that.
Take it.
So you can open that up and close it, and you can get a bite on the car. And these come on 100-foot reels. In the old days, you'd have to take the compressor with you, the generator with you, and the lines to where you want it to work. Now we can pull it right off of this reel.
That's incredible.
And these are what you were looking for, Ken. These are the jaws of life. Legendary jaws of life.
Yeah, look at that. That's. How many lives does that save? Does anybody know?
You can accomplish a lot with these.
Was this invented by a firefighter?
I believe so. I'm not sure. They've been around as long as I've been here.
Has to be invented by a firefighter. Somebody who couldn't get somebody out of a car one day.
Yeah. And then those chains that we have before, there's attachments you can put on these.
Yeah.
If you need, we take classes and have in-service training on how to, the cars change every couple of years, so we update our knowledge too. There's a lot of different things you can do.
Boy, oh boy,
Those are a lot lighter than the old ones. The old ones are 3 times as heavy.
that's a piece of gear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did that come with this truck?
Yes.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Would you like to try it out, Ken?
On my car, no.
Just in general?
Yeah, I would.
One of the new things that we spec on this truck is this hydraulic pump is driven electrically. This truck has a 35,000 kilowatt generator that runs off of the PTO.
Wow.
It's a hydraulic generator.
What's PTO called?
PTO stands for power takeoff.
Okay.
Now I'm going to turn the generator on and it's going to get a little louder. The other benefit of this tool versus the older tool is it will allow us to run 2 tools simultaneously. Some of the older pumps, they didn't have the capacity that this one does, but as you see, there's a control for each line. And with those in the on position, you see the blue line and the red. That's how we determine if someone's on, example, if they're using the jaws of life, they know that they're on the blue line. Follow the blue line, we know to turn this side. The same with the red line is on the opposite side. But if you'd like to try it out, the power's to it right now.
What do I do?
This handle right here opens and closes the jaws.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
And you can see how fast that opens. That's one of the advantages of the new tool that we purchased with this truck also.
That is fast. Think I can do it?
I'm sure you could. You'd have your car apart in a minute.
Look at me, Ma. I'm a firefighter. Look at that's incredible, though. That really is incredible. Unbelievable. And that thing got to weigh about 75 pounds, 100 pounds?
I would say.
Now, what's this do again? I'm a little confused.
These are called the shears.
That cuts.
This will cut the metal on an automobile. An example would be if we had to take a roof off an automobile, the post that comes up, the A post, the B post is between the front and back door. We could literally put this around and it would cut right through that.
No kidding.
And we could have the roof off a car in minutes.
Wow.
To get access to a victim.
Wow. Holy mackerel, that's incredible. Let me try that plow, will you? Wow, look at that, closes right up, huh?
It does.
I was just going to put my finger in there. You think it would hurt my finger?
A little bit. We could take care of you though.
Yeah. That's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. All I can say is holy mackerel. Boy, thank God for that equipment, Paul. You know, and I appreciate you rolling everything out like that and have to put it all back. Thank you very, very much. I
anytime.
appreciate it.
A lot of people in the community don't realize what is on the fire apparatus.
This is
when they see
unbelievable.
it go
This
down
is
the street.
unbelievable. These people sitting at home have no idea what you guys go through. And you know, you don't just fight fires. You do everything.
Exactly.
That cartoon we see so often about firemen rescuing a cat from a tree, I guess that's true.
It is.
Isn't that amazing?
And then some.
Isn't that amazing, huh?
And then some.
What else you got to show us?
There's quite a bit. Look,
I'll show you, being an engine 4, we're kind of self-sufficient down here.
Yeah.
If we pull up to a building and someone says there's someone trapped on the second floor, we have to have the ability to get there. So what we do is every engine we have is always carry ground ladders. The difference between this engine is it's all right in here. In the old days, they're on the outside
Used
of
to
the
be
truck.
on the outside of the truck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're on the top, they come
Yeah.
down, but this is,
Yeah.
you know, so they stay in better condition, and you know, they're in good shape.
What a
and
great
we can
idea.
pull those out and get that ladder up in a matter of seconds.
What a great idea.
We can also ventilate them. They carry two big, this is a 28-foot ladder, extension ladder,
She's just a beautiful
14
ladder.
foot in length, two fly, you know,
That's a,
we can get that up and we can get to a second, probably a third story window pretty quickly.
yeah.
You know,
yeah.
either just to ventilate to get it, so we can get to the fire. You want to knock out a window or two to ventilate and reduce the heat.
That is beautiful.
This
Beautiful.
is we call it a roof ladder. It's 14 feet long. Now, if we have to get up on a peaked roof, this has hooks on the end. Paul can show you. The hooks come out.
Lieutenant Rennie mentioned the hooks. These hooks fold out like this, Ken. And this would allow us to slide the ladder up a peak on
Just
a roof.
over the peak.
We could slide it up and hook it over what they call the ridge, and this would stabilize the ladder.
And climb up the ladder.
So we could walk up and ventilate a roof.
Wow. When you say ventilate a roof, you mean chop a hole in it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. All right. Boy, that's that's some kind of truck, isn't it?
Like I said, we prefer to have a ladder guy, a ladder company to do that, but you know, with the time constraint, manning and all that, sometimes you got to work with what you have.
Yeah, yeah.
So we drill on this. We go through this truck every day, flip it over to.
Unbelievable.
You know,
Unbelievable.
All the firefighters that work for the Randolph Fire Department are trained at the Fire Academy. They cover everything on this truck they go over.
Is that the one in Stowe?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that's where we just try to reinforce it, you know, over the years, because a lot of stuff you don't do a lot here.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you do need to do it, you need to do it like, immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Paul can show you, you know, this side of the truck has a few other things.
A few other things. Holy mackerel, look at this. Wow.
This right here is something fairly new for us. Paul, if you can get that out.
Sure.
It's a speedy dry chute. Being on the highway a lot, you have spills, small spills, oil spills, gasoline. That's a speedy dry chute. It's full of speedy dry.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
We used to carry a couple bags of buckets, and we'd have to call for additional trucks to come.
Wow.
We'd have to call for additional trucks to come, you know, if you had a large area.
Yeah.
That holds, how much does it hold?
There's 300 pounds.
300 pounds.
Up above behind the LPH, there's a aluminum tank up there.
What a great idea.
That feeds into the funnel.
What a great idea.
Just makes us a little more self-sufficient down this end. You're working by yourself a lot of time. Even if the apparatus is coming from the other end, you're delayed, you know, 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes, depending on if you keep heading north. The longer you get away, the farther you are. So you got to do a lot of stuff on your own.
Jeez, I guess you do.
There's a couple more tools Paul can explain to you.
The majority of the stuff that you see up in this cabinet is forcible entry or access. We went over the jaws in the back of the truck with you. This is what they call a self-contained rescue tool.
I got a feeling.
Donated by Lions.
Okay, take it.
Basically, it's just like the jaws that you saw in the back, only it's a combination tool. This tool is a cutter as well as a spreader. You'll see you can spread, and along this edge and this edge are shears, so it's a combination of the shears and the jaws alike that you saw.
And this is totally portable.
It is.
Totally portable.
A couple of different things that you can do with this tool. You see the cord up on the wall?
Yes.
that yellow cord
Yeah.
can screw into the back of this handle right here.
Right in here, yeah.
And with the alligator clips on the cord, you could hook that up to a 12-volt car battery and run this off a car battery. We also have an adapter that slides in where this 24-volt battery is. This slides off, and there's a power converter where you could plug it into a 110 outlet in the house.
No kidding. Oh, wow. Boy, what a versatile little tool that is.
This particular tool, I'm going to give someone else a plug right now, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
This was donated to us by the Randolph Lions Club.
That's a very good plug. Yeah.
One of the members took a class through the fire academy, heard about another town of Plainville was donated a Helmatro self-contained rescue tool. That person came back, spoke to the chief, spoke to the president of the Lions Club, kind of forgot about it. The president at the time was Peggy Cahill. She's a family friend of mine. We spoke to her. She called back and said the golf tournament was going to be for a Helmatro tool.
Oh,
so
that's great. Well,
pretty-
that's great. Thank
pretty
you to the
nice
Randolph Lions Club. Yeah, that's great. That's terrific. Do you get many donations like that, Paul?
Oftentimes we do.
Good meaning citizens?
Yes. Citizens donate to the fireworks that the local 1268 puts on. The Chamber of Commerce was involved years ago in the initial purchase of the defibrillators.
Oh, yeah.
The Rotary Club, we've had donations from the Rotary Club, various banks in town. We've been fortunate. Each piece of apparatus has a cardiac defibrillator on it through the donations of the people in the town.
Oh, that's great. That's terrific. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. If there was one piece of equipment that you don't have, that you'd like to have, what would it be?
Manning.
A what?
Manning.
What's that?
Minimum, the manning that we have.
Oh, you
It
mean
would
more
be
men?
nice to have more men.
More men, yeah.
People don't realize the ambulance goes out uptown, and at the 10-man manning level, that leaves 3 men on engine 1, a dispatcher and a deputy chief, and 3 men on engine 4. If they get a call for an additional ambulance, those 2 men for that additional ambulance come off of engine 1 at headquarters. Now we're down men at headquarters, and engine 4 is the only engine left in town at that time.
This is a different kind of door.
Different cabinet.
See, my problem would be I wouldn't remember where everything was.
Lieutenant Rennie showed you the officer's tool on the other side.
Yes.
These are basically the same tools, just that they're accessible on both sides of the truck. The pick head axe. Here, I can.
Am I unusually short or?
No,
Oh, okay.
the pick
Okay.
head axe that he showed you
Right.
on the other side.
And this. Okay.
It's a great tool.
All right. So it's not just the officers. You guys get some too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then this is another cabinet. This one comes down and tilts down. We have a sledgehammer, large pair of bolt cutters, small bolt cutters for cutting locks or chain link fence.
Right. Boy, I'll tell you, this is some vehicle. This is some
Sure
vehicle.
is.
Does every town have a vehicle like this one?
Each town has their own special things that they add to their own trucks. Again, more Scott bottles, more of the self-contained
Oh, okay.
that Lieutenant Rennie showed.
That'll be.
And then this is the driver's cabinet. The driver keeps his gear in here. Each person on each riding position on the truck is required to have an SCBA. I showed you the one in the front seat
Yes,
and
yes.
in the seats in the back. If this truck was to go mutual aid or to a building fire at the other end of town, the driver has an SCBA bottle that he can wear as well.
Now, is there a stipulated driver every day or?
No, the driver rotates. Each driver rotates. The newer people, as they come up through the ranks, they get trained to drive. Usually within a year or two, they'll start driving the apparatus. But down here in particular, I'm down here 4 weeks out of 8 with Ronnie Casey, who's permanent, and every once in a while, Ronnie and I will switch off.
When you say you're 4 weeks out of 8, where are you, back uptown?
Yes, I'm on the ambulance uptown or on the step on engine 1.
Those look like cameras, are they?
Nope, those are spare nozzles. We keep a different spare nozzles on the truck, different adapters. All of these trays slide out for access. That's great. One of the things we spec'd out.
That's just fantastic.
Just different adapters to go from the large diameter hose to 2.5.
Wow.
Different size nozzles that we carry.
Show me the top of the truck.
Sure, Ken.
Wow.
Ken, when I was down on the ground, I made reference to the cabinets that we specifically designed on this truck.
Yes.
This truck was custom designed, but behind where you see Randolph Fire Department on the side of the vehicle, on both sides, there's cabinets that are accessible from up top. One of the cabinets...
Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that.
I showed you the speedy dry. Lieutenant Rennie, Ronnie, and myself showed you the speedy dry. This is how we fill that. And in this hopper, there's a bin up here that holds 300 pounds of speedy dry.
Wow, that's fantastic.
We used to carry 2 bags, 50 pounds apiece. Now we're able to carry 6 bags, and it's up out of the way to free up cabinet space.
Isn't that fantastic? What a great design this is. Am I right? You guys designed this yourselves, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. How many of you were in on it?
There was about a half a dozen that were on the committee, and we were involved in going around looking at different trucks in different communities to get ideas, and then we all brought it back and sat down and had meetings with the chief and different manufacturers.
Well, you did a great job.
Thank you.
You did a great job. What's in the other bins?
These particular bins here, we're in the process of designing hazardous material spill kits that we can keep in those. We're going to put dividers up in here so we can keep forestry equipment.
Okay.
Pump cans, because we don't always have the squad that comes along with us, so we can initially start an attack on a forest fire. We're going to keep some equipment up here so it's out of the way.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. At the moment, though, those 2 bins are empty, right?
They're empty right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What else is going on up there?
On the other side, Ken, we have some more hazardous materials equipment. These are absorbent pads. We refer to them as diapers. You can put them down over storm drains or put them down in oil spills. And what these pads do is absorb the hazardous material. We also have various equipment such as shovels and brooms.
Hey, Paul, are there hoses up there?
The hose is underneath where I'm standing right now is a hose bed, and what I'll do is I'll flip the cover up so you can see that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, okay. Look at that.
There's quite a bit of hose on this truck. This particular hose is the 4-inch feeder hose. The yellow hose that you see is 4-inch feeder.
Yeah.
We carry 1,000 feet of that.
Wow, 1,000 feet.
We carry more hose. There's 1 3/4 hose. This red is 1 3/4. Similar to what we saw on the side of the truck, only on the back we carry a pre-connected 300-foot load, where those are only 150 feet on the side. And we also carry more 2.5-inch hose, Ken. On the top here we have an 800-foot load of 2.5 that can be used for a hand line as well.
Well, that's a lot of hose, you know that?
There is.
Holy mackerel. 1,000 feet, that's bigger than 3 football fields.
Yes, it is.
Jeepers creepers. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
There's an awful lot more than you know on the equipment that you see.
That's one heck of a truck. Now, you guys designed all this. They made the truck. Where was the truck made?
This truck was made in Ocala, Florida. That's where Emergency One's main plant is, and it was made down in Ocala. I don't remember the exact time frame. I think it was about 10 months from when the bids went out till the delivery of the truck.
And it came in equipped the way I see it.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Paul. I think this truck, I think I'm falling in love with this truck.
You like it that much?
I've never seen such a well-equipped piece of equipment. No, it's fantastic. What is this now?
We're very fortunate. What this is, Ken, is this is what they call a junk line or a trash line. This would be used for motor vehicle fires, dumpster fires, things of that nature. This line here in particular is the line that we're allowed to pump foam out of. Earlier in the video I showed you the foam system that's on the truck. This is the only line that we can pump foam.
Wow.
One of the biggest advantages to this line as far as motor vehicle firefighting, it's on the front of the truck in between the frame rails. They made a box in the bumper for us. It's something new that you see in most of the towns around are starting to go with this. It's becoming an industry standard. But if we pull up to a motor vehicle fire on the highway, the engine can stop back. There's 100 feet of hose here. The engine can stop back, and the engine affords the firefighters protection. They can work in front of the engine, and they can advance this line right up to the motor vehicle fire, working in front of the truck, being protected by the truck.
Wow, what a great idea that is.
And this is just like the hand lines on the side. It's 1 3/4 inches.
What turns it on, this?
That bail, if you pull that back, that would turn it on.
Yeah.
It's not charged right now. And then on the tip of the nozzle, you could turn this forward, or you can turn it back. They say straighten right out. If you turn it to the right, you'll straighten out, and left is in the fog. The farther to the left that you turn the nozzle, it makes a fog stream and opens up.
Okay, gotcha. This puts the wet on the red.
Exactly.
Wow. That's a heck of a tool, you know that? It looks like a gun.
It does.
It really is a gun. Can one man handle this?
One man could handle it, usually two. The second man will take up the slack of the hose and help him with some of the weight of the hose.
Right.
But one man can operate that nozzle with some assistance from behind him.
That's one heck of a piece of tool, I'll tell you that. Now there's another thing that the kid in me has to see.
What's that?
The lights.
Alrighty.
These lights up here. Boy, you got a mess of them.
There is.
Is that a halogen?
It is.
Wow.
Those halogen lights were designed so if we were to pull up on a scene, we could light up a scene. Those are what they call brow lights, and those run off the PTO-driven generator that runs the jaws in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
But I can turn those on in the emergency lights if you'd like.
Would you mind?
Not at all.
Oh, great. Great. The engine has to be running for that, right?
Correct.
Yeah. This is exciting. This is exciting stuff. Wow. Boy, those are really, really bright. Those are bright. Yeah. What's that?
What you just heard there is the truck has a built-in load manager. So if it senses when all the lights are operating, it puts a load on the batteries. What the truck does is it kicks itself up into high idle to keep those charged.
I thought it was coming after me. So this truck will do anything but breathe.
It will.
Look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
And as well as on the front of the truck, we have those halogen lights on the side if you'd like to see them.
Yeah. Yeah, it would. That is beautiful. Beautiful.
The same type of halogen lights as on the front, and they're on a telescopic pole, so we can put them up and light up the front of a building or additional lighting for an accident or any type of incident.
Wow. Wow, that's fantastic. You people sitting at home, I think this is fantastic. I think this is the greatest thing I've seen since we've been doing these shows. Fantastic. Wow. Something else. Wow. What is this? I know that's 911.
This particular 911 December 3rd, 1999.
That's what?
The state of Massachusetts lost 6 professional firefighters in the Worcester cold storage fire.
Oh, that's right, the Worcester fire.
Yes. That's just to memorialize them, remember them when we see those.
That's a great idea. It should be memorialized. How many did we lose up there, you know?
In New York,
Yeah.
343
Firefighters?
firefighters. The professional firefighters in Massachusetts right now are working on a commemorative memorial site at the State House. They're going to have in front of the State House, and they've been having fundraisers over the last few years.
Every time you guys put on this uniform for us, you put your life on the line. I've said this before, but I just think you guys are super, super guys.
It's a rewarding career.
Now, can we see inside the cab?
Sure.
Does the motor have to be running?
No, I'm going to shut down the lights and the generator, and then we can go up in the cab.
Okay, thanks for the lights. Fantastic, unbelievable. What a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. All right, you know, just a word before we go up into the cab. I think that the town of Randolph is certainly lucky to have this. I know they're lucky to have you guys, but this is one heck of a piece of equipment. And it makes you feel pretty good. You know, maybe I shouldn't say this, and if I'm wrong, they can cut it out, but you guys answered a call while we were here. And if this fire station hadn't been here, you wouldn't have got to that call for 5 or 6 minutes. You made it in what, a couple of minutes?
Probably 2 minutes.
2 minutes, yeah.
Yes.
So this fire station is very necessary, isn't it?
It is, Ken.
Okay. Let's see the cab.
Alrighty. Do you want to hop up and I'll explain different things?
I tell you what, at my age, I don't hop up.
Okay.
I struggle up.
I'll help you.
I'm sitting behind the wheel. Nothing will happen, will it?
No. No, you're not going to. We won't let you go anywhere.
Okay. Hey, you know, I couldn't be more pleased. The kid in me is coming out. Here I am sitting in the driver's seat in this brand new truck, and it's fantastic. I want to add one question. Is this a video cam?
No, what that is it's a backup sensor, Ken. On the rear bumper of the engine, there's little sensors, and as the truck approaches something close, what will show up here is a distance in feet, how far away from this.
It doesn't give you a
object.
picture what's back there.
No, not different than the ones you saw in the ambulance
Yeah.
in the previous video. This one's just a sensor, and it will tell you how far away from something you actually are.
Boy, that's a long ways back there. How long
It
is this truck?
This truck is a little over 40 feet, I believe.
40 feet, my word. And you don't have to have a CDL license for this?
Not as long as we're responding to or returning from an emergency incident, you don't need to have a CDL license.
This chain. What is this chain?
That chain is the air horns that you saw in the bumper.
Really?
What do you think?
Can I hear them?
Sure you can. Give it a yank.
Just yank it. Oh, jeez. Listen to that. I did that all by myself, you guys. That's incredible. That's incredible. Now, what are these, dual radios?
Dual radios. What those allow us to do is one of them is always on our fire alarm frequency. The one on the right, closest to the officer, is always on the fire alarm frequency. The officer will talk on the radio when need be. This one in the middle has Randolph Fire on it also, and it would serve as a backup radio if that one was to break down. Both of these radios are programmed identical. I mentioned highway incidents earlier. If we go onto the highway and we're going 93, we're going down Route 93 towards the South Shore Plaza, we can switch the radio to Braintree Fire and we can listen to their apparatus that's responding.
Oh.
If we go 93 south, we can switch to Canton Fire Department
right.
and talk to Canton.
Isn't that
It
something?
allows us direct communication with the other incidents. But the majority of the time, if we're in Randolph, we keep this on Randolph Police. And that will allow us to monitor the police department in Randolph.
Randolph Police, huh?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
And we can hear what goes on over the course of their day, as well as they have the capability to listen to us on their radios.
Paul, if somebody has a fire, I always want to ask this question. If somebody has a fire at home, they need the fire department quick, and they dial 911. Does that come into you?
No, the 911 system in Randolph is monitored by the police department. The police department initially picks up the enhanced 911. If it was somebody with a problem such as a fire or a medical emergency, the police department has the capability of transferring that call to our dispatch, which is at headquarters, and the fire alarm operator can then pick up the 911 phone on our console.
But does that waste time?
It does. It does. But what they do, it allows them to pick up the call and monitor, and then they can transfer it to us.
Yeah, okay. All right, good enough.
And there's another radio.
There's a radio here.
That's a portable radio. I'm not sure if you noticed earlier when you were in the back, we showed you the radios. Each riding position has a portable radio. If you see this radio in particular says engine 4 driver on it. Each radio is engraved with the position, who's responsible for the radio.
I see.
And right behind your right shoulder, there's a charger for this radio that keeps it in the charger. And each seating position has a charger in a portable.
Oh, that's a great idea. So, and this is an ashtray, I guess.
Cup holder.
Cup holder.
Cup holder.
That's where you put your beer.
Coffee.
What's this yellow thing here? It's all encased.
That's the maxi brake. That's the parking brake for the truck. The reason we put that in the middle is something new that's being designed. Is if, God forbid, something was to happen to the driver. In the old trucks, the maxi brake was down here near the driver's knee. Okay? If something was to happen to the driver and the officer had to stop the truck in an emergency, by this being in the middle, the officer could dynamite the maxi brakes and it would stop the truck.
Dynamite?
Which means activate.
Oh, okay. I pictured the whole thing blowing up here.
But this cover is on here. As you see, the lieutenant's helmet is up here.
Yeah.
That's just to protect that from something accidentally applying the maxi brakes.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, because if you were going along and somebody hit that, you'd have a problem, wouldn't you?
You sure would.
Yeah. Jeepers creepers. That's incredible. Automatic tire chains. What does that mean?
That's this red switch down here on the dashboard. They're called on-the-spot tire chains. When we activate those on icy or snowy road conditions, there's a wheel that drops down and spins on the inside of our tire. And when that wheel spins, it throws a chain under the tire. Instead of the old style chains, they had to get up early in the morning if there was a snowstorm and put the chains in the binders and put them all on the tires. Now all we do is just flip the switch and they'll
That's
activate.
Incredible.
It is.
And that put chains on all the tires?
Just the rear drive tires, and it's a short length of chain that will just flip under the rear tire.
Is this rear wheel drive? It's not front wheel drive?
No, rear wheel drive.
Not all wheel drive?
Not all wheel drive, rear wheel drive.
Okay, that's, I don't know of anything else that, why is this light blinking? Oh, because...
What that light is, these are a couple, you see the yellow light here and the yellow light here.
Yeah.
That was a spec that we put in, just like in the ambulance. The yellow light indicates that the emergency brake is applied.
Is applied, okay.
If the truck was running right now and we put the truck in drive, this red light would activate to indicate that this driver's door is open.
I see. Okay.
And on the console you can see that it says cab L1. That indicates that the door is open. Any door that opens on this truck, on the exterior of the truck, will show up and tell us which door it is.
What a great idea that is.
It is.
You got a lot of doors here. That's a great idea. All right, now you've got the radio there, you've got that portable radio, and didn't I just see another radio here someplace? Up here, right here. What's this?
Oh, what that is, Ken, that's the electronic siren. Earlier you heard the good old mechanical siren that we have. This is the electronic siren, and if you want to push the button right here that says manual, you can push that and try it if you want, or just take this knob and you can turn it through all the phases.
Really? Push this, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it goes over all the phases.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you. But there's a microphone on it.
The microphone is for the public address system. They call it a PA system.
Right. Which
you could grab the microphone, pull over.
Move your car away, get out of the way. Yeah.
You'd hear that on the speakers out front.
Yes, yes. You know, your comments today were very thoughtful. I appreciate what you did.
Anytime.
And it was just, you know, it was spectacular. I can't wait to see the tape myself, because this is going to be the most informative show I think I've ever done. Well, I wouldn't say that, but it's a very, very informative show. Thank you so much. Now, is there anything you'd like to say to the people of the town of Randolph? You've got a great opportunity here.
Just personally and on behalf of the members, I'd like to thank them for the support and for the vote of town meeting for expenditures such as this piece of apparatus that we were able to get here.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you came out today, Ken. It will allow the people in town to see what we have to offer within the fire department of Randolph. Other than being a red engine that goes up and down the street making a lot of noise, gives them an insight of what's inside and what our job is actually all about.
Oh man, I couldn't have said it any better myself.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Anytime, Ken. Thank you for coming.
I'm lucky enough to be standing here with an old friend, Chief Charlie Foley. I've been friends with your family for years.
Thanks, Ken.
Is anything you'd like to say to the people of the town of Randolph at this moment?
As I have said in the past, and I'll repeat it again, I thank the people of Randolph for the support that they give to public safety and specifically the fire department in general. Without the resources that are provided by the people of the town of Randolph, we wouldn't be as capable as we are in protecting them. And I personally, as well as the member of the department, are very grateful for that support.
Okay.
We're in tough budget times. We all know that. We've been through an attempt to have an override to restore manpower to the department. And one of, obviously, our greatest resource is the men that work here in the department.
Oh, no question about that.
Unfortunately, we're down 5 positions by the budget this time, which is about 10% of the staff. And,
is this kind of common around the country, Chief?
No, I would say it's common in certain parts of the state due to the budget. A lot of fire departments throughout the state and municipalities have suffered cuts in budgets as a result of decrease in local aid. And obviously everybody's aware of the intense increases in fuel costs.
Yes.
And the expenses associated with that.
Absolutely.
And while we need to put fuel in the vehicles, the budgets have not risen correspondingly for expenses as they have, and the need to keep the expense side going versus the salary side has meant reductions in staff.
One thing I got to throw at you, because I was there when it was built.
Right.
Station 2.
Right, Station 2 is a very well-used facility. It was originally built at its present site in 1951 and remodeled once again in 1971 to increase the capacity of the vehicles and the manpower that could be housed at that location. It was originally built, the first Station 2 that I'm aware of was down around the area of the Simon Fireman House, around 640, 650 North Main Street, just before the Higashi, on the left-hand side. And when it was built at its present location in 1951, where it currently exists. At this time, the truck that we looked at today, Engine 4, is housed at that location with 3 firefighters, 1 officer and 2 firefighters. It does do a greater percentage of the response calls in the town of Randolph compared to, say, Engine 1 located at headquarters. It's a busier station for responses. It does a great deal of the responses up to Route 128, Route 24. As we all know, we have some of the high occupancy venues down off of Scanlon Drive, Lombardo's, Holiday Inn, Montana. A lot of foot traffic down there. We respond there for medical issues quite often. And that end of town has grown significantly.
Oh, leaps and bounds.
Right, you would know that back when you went to high school and stuff like that. It was more of smaller homes and no industrial parks and things like that when that station was built in 1951. So the dynamics of the job, while our responsibilities and duties have changed, the intense amount of increase in runs and responses has also grown. And the facility is well worn, well used, and it's been mentioned in the master plan, which was adopted back in 1999, to take a look at replacing that building. I've mentioned it in my annual report a couple of times.
Sometimes these things take a little time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a process. Everything's a process.
We must be patient.
Right. I think and I don't only think, I know that we do need to house an ambulance there at some point in time. We need to get a second ambulance running in this town. Stoughton, several years back, built a new station down on Central Street. They went from 1 facility to 2, and when they did that, they moved their second ambulance to the second station so that they could provide better coverage in the town from an EMS standpoint. We respond currently out of headquarters with the 1st ambulance and Engine 4 in North Randolph to your call. So you will have Engine 4 responding, which is a Class 5 ambulance, ALS equipped new.
Yeah, they told us that.
Right.
Unbelievable.
It doesn't transport you to the hospital,
No.
but it can provide all the services,
Unbelievable.
such as the ambulance. So we put that truck on scene anywhere throughout the town if one of our primary vehicles is not available due to being committed to another response, or we're committed to other issues or other runs and the 2nd ambulance is not available to respond. We'll get a mutual aid ambulance from an adjoining town.
Wow.
Typically Canton, Holbrook, Stoughton, or Avon helps us out with mutual aid ambulance calls.
And all this from a guy who said to me just a little earlier, I don't know what to say. I want to thank you, Chief Foley.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming down today, and I'm sure as you yourself, I'm sure, is aware of the history of the town. You've been around a long time, and you are familiar with fire apparatus as well as streets, roads, highways, buildings, municipal buildings, and the dynamics of what we do has significantly changed.
Oh, has it ever?
With regard to EMS, hazardous materials, ice and water rescue. That truck that is here behind me right now is state-of-the-art. State-of-the-art vehicle for what we do currently.
And you guys designed it.
Yes, members of the department participated for many, many hours of their own time, going around to other departments, manufacturers, and vendors that supply equipment and vehicles, and we all came together with a plan that would be best for the town of Randolph and the people we serve.
It's fantastic. The guys we saw at Station 2 and the guys we see here at headquarters are a tribute to your leadership.
Thank you very much,
and
Ken.
I thank you very much.
I appreciate that. I'm very proud of them and proud for the way they represent themselves for the people of town of Randolph.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Ken, very much. Come back soon, too. Please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Always welcome here at the fire department.
Talk to you again.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed another episode of Wandering Randolph, because I certainly enjoyed bringing it to you, and so did RCTV. I want to thank all the guys here at Station 2 for their cooperation, for their information, and for all they did for us today. It's been a long day, and they were busy guys. As a matter of fact, in the middle of the show, they had to make a run. So, again, thank you very, very much for watching it. And for RCTV, I'm Ken Simmons. I'm going to talk to you on another day.